est du cœur, la consolation, il est l'espérance et la grâce de Dieu. Il est vivant, il est la voix de Dieu, la parole de Dieu. Est sur la terre, Jésus-Christ est le roi de l'univers qui nous donne la grâce et la vie éternelle. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer. Adonai, El Shaddai, El Elyon, je dis oui, El Eoma, El Haïm, El Gibor, Yahweh Elohim, Adonai Yahweh. Seigneur Jésus-Christ, tu as promis, venir nous chercher et être avec toi. C'est pourquoi nous t'attendons impatiemment, Dieu fidèle et véritable. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer. Roi des rois, Seigneur des seigneurs, Fils de Dieu, merci pour ton sacrifice. Nous voulons te célébrer, nous voulons t'adorer, nous voulons te chanter, te rendre toute la gloire. Moi je veux te louer, je veux te célébrer, tu es digne d'adoration, pas sauveur des nations. Moi je veux te louer, moi je veux t'adorer, pour tous tes bienfaits. Merci Seigneur. Moi je vais t'adorer, je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer, je vais te louer. Non par à nous, éternel, non par à nous, Père à ton nom de gloire, à cause de ton œuvre, de ta fidélité, à cause de ta grâce et de ton amour. Tes œuvres sont grandes et admirables, Seigneur Jésus, Dieu tout-puissant. Tes voies sont justes et véritables, roi des nations, qui ne craignent ton nom. Je vais t'adorer, je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer, dis-moi je vais t'adorer. Je vais te louer. Que tu es bon, que tu es doux, que tu es juste dans toutes tes voies. J'étais perdu, j'étais lié et découragé de la vie. J'ai cherché la paix, j'ai cherché l'amour et l'assurance de mon salut. Du fond des ténèbres, dans ma repentance, j'ai crié à toi.
5G is really the elephant in the living room that no one is paying attention to. So it's being promoted as something that's very, very good. It's about the Internet of Things. And what exactly is the Internet of Things? It's about everything talking to everything else. Now, broadband experience everywhere, anytime, smart vehicles, smart transport, smart infrastructure. It uses a millimeter wave, which can be extremely dangerous to all living things and not just people. It's about mass surveillance and about weaponizing the airwaves. And the studies on it are amazing. There's all sorts of studies, but they're not interested in the studies. That's the thing. This is being rolled out without any studies. They're doing it basically because there's a lot of money involved in rolling it out.
Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole provenance of urban areas. The 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country. America's local governments will play an important role in determining how we fulfill this national priority. If something can be connected, it will be connected.
Now, the Internet of Things is far more concerning than people might think at first glance, because it isn't just your fridge and your smart toaster and your smart television and your smartphone. It's also your computer, your microphone, your camera on your computer. It's also the surveillance system that we are all installing in our homes by getting these new computer systems. Something else the 5G grid can do is it can see through walls, it can see through houses, it can see what you're carrying along the street, it can see if you're carrying money, it may be able to tell if you're carrying a weapon. And if you are carrying a weapon, it can disable you with a millimeter wave, or it can even perhaps send a signal to a drone and have you targeted from the air. It's also possible to take control of vehicles with computers in them. It's an all-encompassing system. And this is not just being used for communication. This is being used for surveillance and control. What this whole system is leading towards is complete digital control of everybody and a merging of human beings with AI. So they're virtually putting a fence around the entire Earth, like a space fence around the entire Earth, which is going to be active and involved in the 5G network. And it's about integrating it all together, the integration of satellites and 5G networks. This 5G grid is being rolled out, and this whole machine society is coming online. And if people don't pay attention, if people continue to use their credit cards, if they continue to use their smartphones, in another 5 to 10 years from now, when all their cash is digitized, all their movements are tracked, all their thoughts are monitored, and everything they do is under surveillance, people are going to look up from their research and go, hang on a minute, how did I end up in this high-tech prison? And at that point, what can anyone do?
lost control of the technology in our homes, because the people who are putting this technology in our homes are never doing it to make our lives easier. They're doing it to control us. That's their agenda. And they are so wealthy and so rich, it doesn't really matter whether it costs them $500 million and they don't actually get their money back, because they're working to orders. These controlled people are bringing up vast amounts of money to put satellites around the earth to run 5G wireless from satellites. The cost is phenomenal. What you would normally do is build a phone mast and do it. But they want satellites because they don't want people turning them off. If you have satellites which are ground controlled, then it's easier to get at them and turn them off or sabotage them. But if it's running from space, it's very hard to blank it and stop it. And think about the Terminator films with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was called Skynet, and it was a space-based system. What the whole object of this blasted 5G is to attempt to create an entity within people. It is to place a energy being. It's not like a jinn, it's not a demon, it's nothing like that. It's more like a fourth dimensional, lower fourth type being, and attempting to get them to infest in a person. Because what AI is doing is attempting to control the nervous system of the human race. 5G is a potential that they see to allow them to rewire the brains of people. The whole object is to turn people into robots. Their agenda is to control the human race, and they don't give a fig about anything else.
What the global elite have figured out, your house is a geographic feature on the face of the planet. But when you go out of your house and you go to a doctor, you go to a store, you go to, whatever, they lose track of you because your house is stationary, but you're moving. Well, the new theory in social engineering is we have to also set a geographic point, if you will, on all the moving objects in society. Cars move, people move, drones move, other things move. They want to track those moving things as points of geography, and that requires connectivity to do that. Mobile connectivity, not fixed connectivity, mobile connectivity. So the new 5G standard is going to provide people in cities, for instance, on their cell phones and other things that they carry, with at least 100 megabit per second connection. Now, you probably don't even get that at your home right now with your cable. That's so fast, you just can't hardly imagine how fast it is. That means everything's connected in real time. Real time. 5G is going to allow for instantaneous survey of the entire landscape. Geospatial intelligence is the driving technocrat mentality behind 5G and behind connecting the world, that is the Internet of everything, together. That is the driving impetus behind this. And you can see how science is going to put this dragnet around the human race. I think the most appropriate end state that we could name it would be scientific dictatorship.